Early on August the 7th, the Russian forces shelled a cottage area in Sloviansk, said Vadim Lyakh, the head of the Sloviansk city military administration. After a few silent days, the city was shelled again. This time a cottage area suffered almost in the center of Sloviansk. Fortunately, no one was killed or wounded, he said. Over August the 7th, the Russian military shelled 7 settlements on the border of Donetsk and Luhansk regions. They also tried to attack the Ukrainian military positions in the vicinity of Verkhnyokamyansk, reported Serhiy Gaidai, the head of the Luhansk Regional Military Administration. At night on August the 8th, the Russians carried out 7 missile strikes and 2 airstrikes on municipalities in the border of Donetsk and Luhansk regions. They also fired from artillery, MLRS, tanks and mortars. Early on August the 8th, the Russian military bombarded Avdiivka, Kramatorsk and settlements in Bakhmut and Pokrovsk districts. 2 people were injured. On August the 7th, Russian shellings killed 5 people and wounded 17, said Pavlo Kyrylenko, the head of the Donetsk Regional Military Administration. 2 civilians perished in Soledar and 3 in Bakhmut, Marinka and Salidove. Early on August the 8th, shellings by the Russian army damaged 5 residential buildings, a utility company and a confectionery workshop. In Marinka, 1 person was wounded. Early in the morning, the Russians shelled the old part of Avdiivka from Grad launchers and later launched an airstrike on the town. The scope of destruction has been identified, said Mr. Kyrylenko. Kramatorsk, Svetlodarska and Solidarska communities also came under Russian fire in the morning. 1 person was injured in Yakovlivka. On August the 5th, the Russian forces shelled the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. 3 hits on the plant site were established. The nitrogen-oxygen unit and the utility block were damaged. There is a risk of hydrogen leak and spray of radioactive substances, according to Energoatom. Late on August the 6th, the Russians shelled the site of the Zaporizhzhia NPP again and hit near the dry storage facility with spent nuclear fuel. The shelling resulted in 3 damaged sensors of radiation monitoring. President of the European Council and called for sanctions against the Russian nuclear industry and nuclear fuel. As reported by Alexander Starukh, the head of the Zaporizhzhia Regional Military Administration, at night on August the 6th, the Russian troops launched a missile strike on an infrastructure facility in Shevchenkovsky district in Zaporizhzhia. It is estimated that there are no victims and no major destructions. Currently, we know of minor damages and that no one was injured. The blast wave broke out the window panes in the adjacent building. According to the Prosecutor General's office, a criminal proceeding has been launched based on the fact of violating the laws of the war. On the night of August the 6th, the Russian military shelled Slobitsky district in Kharkiv. No one was killed or wounded, said city mayor Igor Terehov. Kharkiv residents reported at least 6 blasts in the city. According to the regional department of the State Emergency Service, at around 30 minutes past midnight, the Russian missiles hit a 1-story non-residential building. It is partially destroyed. The roof caught fire of close 30 square meters. At 2 a.m., the fire was extinguished. The Kharkiv Regional Prosecutor's Office specified that the Russian bombardment partially destroyed the warehouse of a company. At the scene, they found metal fragments of a missile, which are typical of S-300 type missiles. The projectile hit manufacturing and storing facilities of a former furniture factory. As Suspilne correspondents report, one of the buildings was totally ruined and a workshop with woodworking machines was damaged. In the morning of August the 7th at 4:40, a series of explosions rocked the city, said Kharkiv Mayor Igor Terehov. The Russian Federation launched missiles from Belgorod on 3 districts of the city: Novobovarsky, Nemyshlansky and Industrialny. According to Oleg Sinehubov, the head of Kharkiv Regional Military Administration, they seem to be S-300 missiles. In Nemyshlansky and Industrialny districts, the missiles destroyed civilian, industrial and critical infrastructure. Fortunately, no casualties. In Novobovarsky district, a missile hit the ground near a park, causing no destruction, said Mr. Sinehubov. In Novobovarsky district, the missile strike formed a crater 8 meters wide and 4.5 meters deep, said Serhiy Bolvinov, the head of the investigation department in Kharkiv Regional Police. Late on August the 7th, the Russian shells hit an enterprise in Kievsky district of Kharkiv. According to early reports, there are no casualties. The company premises are damaged. On one of them, 3 fires broke out, covering the area of 180 square meters, reported the Kharkiv Regional Emergency Service. The fire was stopped. As a consequence of Kharkiv shelling on August the 8th, one person is reported dead and another one wounded, said Oleg Sinehubov. During the live national telethon, he told that the shellings were conducted from rocket launchers. According to city mayor Igor Terehov, Pavlovo Pole came under fire. Yevgen Vasilenko, spokesman of the Regional Emergency Service, said that a vehicle was on fire after the shelling of Pavlovo Pole. On August the 6th, around 3:30 a.m., Russian troops launched rocket attacks on Mykolaiv. 2 people were seriously injured and residential buildings were damaged. According to Alexander Sienkiewicz, mayor of Mykolaiv, 7 micro-districts of the city came under fire at night. In one 5-story building, part of the rocket broke the roof and hit the apartment. Mykolaiv Regional Military Administration reported that on the night of August the 7th, sounds of explosions were heard in Mykolaiv. Industrial enterprises were shelled. The projectile hit the roof of a building in one of the objects of Ingulsky district. The fire broke out on the roof and ceiling on an area of 70 square meters. The fire was extinguished in the shortest possible time, and the fire was prevented from spreading to a larger area, the State Emergency Service reports. On the morning of August the 8th, at approximately 4:20 a.m., the armed forces of the Russian Federation shelled the outskirts of Mykolaiv. About 7 explosions rang out. Information about the shelling was confirmed by Mykolaiv Regional Military Administration. According to preliminary information, there were no casualties or injuries as a result of the shelling. Valentin Reznichenko, the head of Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration, announced that on the night of August the 6th, Russian troops shelled Nikopolsk and Kryvyi districts from BM-21 Grad and barrel artillery. According to him, 20 missiles were fired at the residential quarters of Nikopol. In Kryvyi district, Zelenodolsk Hromada was shelled from barrel artillery. Part of the village of Maryansky is without electricity. During the briefing, Serhiy Kovtonyuk, the head of the Media Relations Department of the State Emergency Service of Ukraine in Dnipropetrovsk region, said that 4 people were injured during the shelling. On the night of August the 7th, there are wounded as a result of Russian shelling of Nikopolsky and Kryvyi districts. This was announced by the head of the Regional Military Administration, Valentin Reznichenko. The Russian army fired 60 projectiles from BM-21 Grad at Nikopolsky district, including 40 at Marhanets. 2 people were injured in Marhanets. Almost 50 private houses, 4 cars and a bus stop were damaged. It affected the gas pipeline and the electricity network. About 20 missiles were fired at the territory of Chervonogorivka Hromada. There are no victims and destruction. The enemy hit Kryvyi district with BM-27 Uragan and barrel artillery. No casualties or injuries. On the night of August the 8th, 4 villages in 2 Hromadas of Nikopolsky district came under enemy fire, Valentin Reznichenko reports. They fired at Marhanets Hromada from BM-21 Grad, 20 rockets hit. At Chervonogorivka Hromada, they hit 2 X-59 missiles, Valentin Reznichenko wrote. In the village of Kamyanske, as a result of shelling, 2 premises of an agricultural company were destroyed. 4 of its warehouses, equipment and transport were damaged. 9 residential buildings were damaged. In Kryvyi district, Russian troops shelled Zelenodolska Hromada with barrel artillery. People are unharmed. On August the 6th, at 5:30 a.m., the Russian army 4 times opened fire on different territories of the Bilopilya Hromada. Dmytro Zhivitsky, the head of Sumy Regional Military Administration, announced that there were a total of about 40 hits from mortars and artillery. Sumy Operational and Tactical Group reported that the buildings of civilian residents were destroyed in the village of Pavlivka. As a result of the shelling, a 1-meter diameter funnel from mine was formed in one of the yards. A wooden barn was destroyed. Farm buildings and a summer kitchen were damaged. On August the 7th, after 8 p.m., Seredina Buda Hromada was shelled with various types of weapons, the military administration reported. In just one day, August the 7th, the Russian military shelled 5 Hromadas in Sumy region. Residential buildings, a water tower and a farm were damaged. In some settlements, power grids are damaged. During the air raids alert on August the 8th in Uman, CHERKASY region, local residents heard 4 explosions. The information was confirmed by the head of CHERKASY Regional Military Administration, Igor Taburets. According to him, air defense was working. As a result of the fall of the remains of the downed missile, the object of civil infrastructure was damaged. 2 people were injured. They were promptly hospitalized, he said.